And welcome to the Redmen TV. It's the review show. It's a new show that we're doing after every single game, where we're here taking a little look back at the game, knocking microphones off within 3 seconds of going live.
Nice.
And most importantly, reacting to the comments and stuff. So we'll talk through the game, lads. I'm joined by Tom Dutton, the man behind Redmen TV, and Ben Kelly, one of the writers for the Redmen TV. Check out his articles on the redmentv.com. Loads of written content on there now, which we never really talk about, and we should, because it's fucking boss. So first of all, I do have something that I need to get off my chest.
Okay.
I want to speak to Evil 9 in the comments section, who is basically saying that Pajak stole my bike, which isn't true. I have never stolen a bike in my life. Tom, on the other hand, has stolen a bike.
A few.
Have you?
A few, but they weren't off people. They were just
we were just lying around.
Yeah.
Wild
One time
bikes.
when we were filming Redmen.
It's a good bike. It's a really good bike.
It's your favourite BMX you've ever had,
It's a
isn't
really
it?
good bike, yeah. So if you left one in a park at some point, maybe it was me. Yeah.
Okay, so there we go. I tell you what we're going to do first and foremost is we'll go through the game. So, look, I said on my match reaction show, Tom, mad as a box of frogs. Yeah. And that is this Liverpool side this season.
And I enjoyed every second of it. I mean, it was. I say I enjoyed. After the fact, you enjoy it. You've got the whole range of emotions, and you're thinking, are we going to concede? There's a free kick around the box. Are we going to concede? But no, we held out, and we did what we couldn't do for the other games, which is just see it through and win.
And that's it. And it didn't look like we were going to at the time. Did you see the look Klopp gave the camera during the game when we conceded that free kick late on?
Yeah, no, yeah. Well, I think it was the same look as everybody. I was in a bar in Liverpool City Centre, and there was just a massive groan throughout the whole of the place, because you all know that, oh God, this is, if we can just hold on here, then we're probably there. But
It was a mad game of football, wasn't it? And one that probably shouldn't have been one of those mad games. I mean, there was early warning signs from Leicester that they were going to try what they always try against us, and that is hoof the ball to Vardy. And it was always going to be whether our defenders could stack up against them, the centre backs in particular, stack up against Jamie Vardy and stuff. And for the most part, I thought that was a good defensive performance. So I don't know if you'd agree.
It was. I think we've done it every single game anyway. We recycle the possession. We always just break down attacks early. That's a feature of Klopp's players, just getting men around the ball, winning it back really fast, and then just starting the attacks from higher up the pitch. And I think we've done it every game. We just the lapses basically, and there still was too, but it's okay. Well,
so we've got our first comment about the defence. So please do leave some comments about the defence, because we're going to start talking about the defenders now. Thomas Malone says, and I put this to you, Ben, our defenders couldn't get more than a 5. Do you think that's a fair comment?
Maybe it depends really, because I thought as a unit we were okay. I thought, obviously the second goal, I can't remember. The first goal is a foul on the goalkeeper, and it's poor defending really from the corner. But it's a foul on the goalkeeper, and I do think that if he's not having his arm tugged, he does punch that, and we get it clear. But the second goal, I think maybe there's a little bit of just a lapse in concentration, as in, Vardy gets there first, and obviously from the save, but and perhaps he's more alive to it. But it is very fortunate how it falls to him, really. So there were no outstanding mistakes really. I don't know. It's difficult to say, because there's a bit of a dark cloud over our defence.
The biggest defensive mistake I thought we had yesterday was the very first Vardy opportunity, where Lovren's 5 yards behind the rest of the defenders. And that is pretty much the only one where I would say that's a categoric defensive error by one of our players. Let me give you 2 ways of looking at the goal that you're talking about. Or Joe Gomez gets skinned on the right wing by Albrighton. Right, Coutinho or Chan leave Gray at the back stick and don't track him. Gray knows position's all right. Gray, it's a shot, and Mignolet parries it to a Vardy who's free in space because, let's say, Matip didn't track him.
It was Matip coming across,
Let me give you another way of looking at that goal. Albrighton does Firmino-esque skill. An English centre midfielder on the left-hand side, and no defender in the world stopping that, because you don't think Mark Albrighton can do it. He whips in a great ball. Damari Gray takes advantage of the fact that Phil Coutinho's tracking him and he's an attacking midfielder. Damari Gray brings the ball down, hits a world-class shot on the volley, because how many times have you seen that go over the bar for a winger from that position? Mignolet makes a great save. and Vardy's position is brilliant because he's anticipating a save rather than anything else. There's no defensive errors in there.
No.
But there's two ways of looking at a goal. You can look at it, Liverpool's defenders are shit, or you can actually go, everything that Leicester did was brilliant during the build-up to that goal.
I feel better for thinking about the second way, but it was more just, it was the fact that Joe Gomez's positioning to get beaten by Albrighton wasn't good enough, I don't think. I obviously you get beat by that because you don't expect it, and that's the whole point of the trick, but why is he coming from the box? But then you're right. I think Leicester are a good team. They're not shite. You know what I mean? They're a really good attacking team. That's why they won the league. That's why they're still staying. They're not bottom of the league. You know what I mean? They're a good attacking.
Where are they in the league, Tom? I feel indecision there, and I'm going to question you on it. They're not bottom of the league because I know Palace are.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so we'll go into some of the comments then, because this is really what this show is about. I still do want you to talk.
Yeah, no, it's fair enough.
Sam King, is the problem with our defence individual errors or how Klopp sets the team up, Ben?
I think
Leicester 17th.
They're nearly bottom of the league. Thanks, Paul. Leicester are 17th.
I think it depends on what context. I think at set pieces. I think.
Sorry, have Liverpool beaten a team in the bottom three?
No, that's fourth from bottom.
Are they?
Fourth from
teams in the league, Chris.
That's it.
20, 19, 18, 17. He's right. Damn it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Go on, Ben.
Sorry. So I think when it comes to set pieces and corners, I think it is the way that Klopp sets the team up. I just do not agree with zonal marking really at all. I don't understand why when it comes to either zonal or man to man. Basically, when it comes to man, you've got a player stop him from scoring, and if your man scores, you failed your job, and you can put responsibility on that player. With zonal marking, there's a little bit of a grey area in terms of, well, whose zone was that and all that. And I think when it comes to set pieces and it comes to corners in particular, it's Klopp. But I think some of the goals. If we look at some of the goals we're conceding, there are individual errors at play, and look at that Sevilla goal, the first Sevilla goal, where everybody would have cleared it, except for and Lovren didn't, and he gets the tapping at the back post. So I think it's a bit of a mix of both.
It's one of them where I think when we're attacking, we throw everyone up the pitch. So, and it's been taught, we're basically leaving our two centre backs and probably a defensive midfielder in there. So when we're attacking, we're going full steam, going for it. There's not any protection at all for them centre-backs. And the fact that Matip, who does it mostly, can recycle that play pretty much consistently throughout the 90 minutes with hardly any protection is a testament to how good he is. When
the question marks people have about Joel Matip, and I think Paul would share this if he was on the show with us, is that we're a defender like Jamie Carragher missing.
Yeah,
I think that's it. One who throws himself in front of the ball. Yeah. But to be fair to Joel Matip, there was an opportunity for Vardy in that game where Joe Gomez was slightly beat, almost gave a penalty away, and another. Yeah. He could have brought him down. Joel Matip throws himself in front of the ball. So I hope this is early signs that he's going to be that defender for us. I'm just going to go back into the comments section. Before I do, we got a chat from Aidan Brannick. I love the way you look at the goal, Chris. It doesn't always have to be looked at in a negative way. Sometimes you can just give credit to the team. I think sometimes we forget that, don't we? We seem to think for some reason there's one side trying to win, and that's Liverpool, and we fail where there's always two teams playing for it. Right, here we go. I've got this one. Adam Smith. They are all good defenders who can't defend together. They need that commanding force who can organise the back four. And I think if you go to the games, and I know we all do here, we're fortunate enough that we can go to the games. You do hear Simon Mignolet shouting. Yeah,
definitely.
You don't very often hear any of the other defenders. You see Joe Gomez actually does it. He points around a little bit, Trent Alexander-Arnold's getting words in his ear from Joel Matip and stuff. But there isn't that one guy that we can hang our hat on and say, he's the organiser in this defence. And that might be the crux of it.
That's the problem. I mean, you see Joel Matip shouting when it's after the fact. I think there was one... Emre Can and Lovren, I think the other week, just didn't shout for it, just didn't say, it's my ball. He's screaming at them, look, sort it out, you know what I mean? And I think you're right, we need that commanding player, but, I mean, obviously they just take Lovren's spots because that's what you want, but Who is that?
Well, yeah. Right now, I don't think we have one properly. But I think that would have been a big plus if we'd signed Virgil van Dijk, because that's what Van Dijk comes in and does. In the Burnley game last week, in the second half, Burnley had 2 corners that end up exactly the same. They came to bend me at the back post, and I think the first one Mignolet saved it, and the second one he headed over the bar. I think if we have somebody like that, like Virgil van Dijk, who comes in and organises all that, it definitely doesn't happen twice on the run.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that is what we're missing, I think.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I want to move it on then. First of all, we got a chat from Praval Kaka. Fuck.
Nice.
Apologies. Kakukural. Where's Paul? He's over there. I've just seen Antoine come in. Antoine, footy Wednesday night, 8 p.m. No, right, we still need one more for footy. Anyone wants to play footy with us on Wednesday night at 8 o'clock, do give us a shout out. Yes, get Paul. Paul and Chris, one of the best football duos, says Praval.
Well, I'm gutted. I'm gutted with that.
It's alright, Tom. You know, you'll get there one day, mate. You and Si will have your own YouTube channel. Called Si and Tom's YouTube channel. That'll be the way of it. Okay, one thing I wanted to talk about, we've talked about leadership at the back and stuff first and foremost, and I want your thoughts and comments on this in the comments section. I want to know what you all thought of Jordan Henderson's performance, and for what it's worth, for me, Jordan Henderson put in an absolute captain's performance at the weekend, capped off with a goal, in fact, in a move that he started himself. You know, Jordan Henderson wins the ball wins the ball back after Emre Can loses it, Maguire 1-2, Henderson grabs the ball, Coutinho, Sturridge, Henderson, and then he gives the keeper the eyes as well. He takes a touch, goes inside of Maguire, who's now returning, and then gives Schmeichel the eyes and lifts it over him. Absolutely brilliant. And yet, that sort of typified his performance for me. It was a fucking outstanding performance, wasn't it?
That sums Henderson up all over. That's his game. Yeah. That's exactly what he does. Is he breaks up the play and then he helps with the attack, and he doesn't always get the pass. And I was saying to you on the show that we did straight after the instant match reaction.
Available on the website, of course. It's a free it's not a free podcast. It's a podcast available on the
Yeah, but he other times he just passed that to Wijnaldum. Wijnaldum's on the edge of the box there, and he'd go, I don't want this responsibility, you take it off me. And probably Wijnaldum misses because he starts getting closed down. So for him to just go, no, I'm taking command here, I'm just scoring this, I'm confident enough in my own ability to just tuck that away.
He runs funny, Tom.
He runs funny, and and sometimes he misplaces passes because he makes the most passes in the game. You know what I mean? And I think he gets an unfair judgment a lot of the time, Henderson. I really like watching him play. I think he keeps our game ticking, and he's vital. On our good days, he is vital to how we play.
Yeah. I agree with that. And listen, I'll go back into the comments and I'll come to you, Ben, after a few of these. Sam Shepherd, Hendog was boss. I'm not sure about that nickname, but he was boss. Mark Basucci, Hendo is a captain, a leader, a fantastic footballer. Steve Cure, brilliant performance, but he's too hit and miss for me, Chris. What do you think about that one, Ben?
Yeah, he can be hit and miss. I think it was a good job. I say good job. I think it was good for him that he put in such a good performance on Saturday, because he was coming under a lot of scrutiny, really, wasn't he, after the Leicester game, and he wasn't brilliant against Burnley.
He's been poor this season. I think we can say safely.
But yeah, I agree. I do really like him. I think we're definitely missing something when he's not there. I think that's the thing. When he doesn't play, you notice. Yeah. You notice the little bits and bobs that he does that isn't there anymore. And I think actually, we were saying about the goal, obviously the goal was so composed. I think because he'd had such a good game, he had the confidence to then take that on, and like you say, he could have passed to Wijnaldum, and he had the confidence at that stage in the game to take the chance on himself. So he can be hit and miss, but at the end of the day, he's our captain, and we've got to stay behind him whether he's poor or not. And I think it was good for him that he put in a really good performance.
Okay, well, I'll go back into the comments section. I do want to ask one other question of you guys before we start talking about the midfield three, actually. if Jordan Henderson's not our captain, who do you guys think would be Liverpool's captain right now? Because I looked at it on the starting 11 board last week, and I had a real struggle, if I'm honest, to pick out someone who should be our club captain. So we're going to get back into the comments, and we'll just round up the Henderson stuff here. Adam Smith, Hendo performing is not what Emre Can wants. Wolf 244, Hendo putting a good performance, but he has a consistency issue. And Henderson was phenomenal. Against Leicester, showed what he did the majority of last season. If he can do that consistently this season, fans will love him, says Rahul Ruparelia. So there you go. And we want to talk about the midfield three, Tom, because you know, we've seen this season when we've played well so far, it's been Chan, it's been Henderson, and it's been Wijnaldum in the midfield three. We've had a few games there where we haven't had that midfield three together, and I think like we've been a little bit poorer in the middle of the park. Now that's not to say that Chan and Wijnaldum had particularly outstanding games, but we were better in the midfield for having those three in there.
Definitely. I mean, you just see it's just a bit more fluid. Everyone knows what they're doing better. I think, who was it against Leicester the first time? It was Grujic and, I'm putting everyone on the spot, but it was Grujic and Henderson and someone else. And you can just, it could have even been Wijnaldum, but it just didn't click. And you're right, I don't think Wijnaldum had a very good game. I can't remember seeing him at all. I know he held up the ball quite well at stages of the game, but I think that wasn't the best I've seen our midfield three play. I'll be honest with you. I don't think this season we've had many better performances of our midfield three in the season. So.
Okay, I mean, I must admit, I really like the midfield three. I thought early on in the season, there's no way that this midfield can work. You know, I've said it how many times, it's too industrious, there's no creativity there. But what they allow us to do is they allow us to play with our two wingers, and they can get Phil Coutinho involved, and they get Mo Salah involved in the game, and Roberto Firmino dropping deep and all that type of stuff. I'm just going to shoot back into the comments. Hanye Fresh says Firmino captain. Sarah Smith says Salah. Red Zabby says Mane. Sam Shepherd says Lallana. Saeed X says Mane. Mark Glasgow says Matip. Chris Brown says Emre Can. Mark Basucci says Emre Can. Jashan Sandhu says Henderson. Saeed X says Carvin. So I think there's a couple of jokey ones in there, but the fact is not everybody's going for the same player. And I think if you'd have got in years gone by, if you'd have said who's our captain, obviously we had a better captain, I think, in Steven Gerrard, but the next best person would have been, everyone would have just been saying Jamie Carragher. And I think that's where we are right now, is that, we might not have a guy who Liverpool fans want as their captain. We need to all just get behind Jordan Henderson, and what Jordan Henderson needs to do as well, to be fair, is put in performances like that, because the more performances like that, the happier Liverpool fans will be, and the more games we'll win, because when he performs, we play much better. The amount of times that he broke up plays, you said before, Tom, was outstanding. His passing was brilliant. Even that one where it's a contested ball in the centre of the field and he knocks it over the midfield, and I think Salah's running onto the ball. Who else? Moreno's running onto the ball. Oh, it's the one where we get the free kick for Coutinho's goal. Absolutely unbelievable. That's a difficult pass. He's done that so many times during that game. We haven't talked about it yet. Let's talk about the Liverpool goals. First goal, what did you make of that one, Tom?
I can't remember.
Cross for Salah's header.
It was Coutinho, Moreno, Coutinho, and then Salah.
It was just a fantastic assist, and I said on that show, the burst of speed for Salah to actually reach that ball. You're thinking that's going out all day, and he's there, and the header's fantastic. He plays it, keeper has no chance whatsoever, but we've missed that deadly assist that Coutinho can just produce out of nowhere. He just goes, right, I'll create a bit of space with Moreno, and then I'm just gonna whip it into the box. And it was
that's gonna be a useful weapon, I think, for us this season. That connection, because we saw it when we played Leicester, obviously, in that friendly cup thing, and there was a similar thing where Coutinho put it in for Salah. I think Salah is deceivingly good in the air, because obviously he's only small, but I think that's going to be a good thing, because he is quick enough to reach those balls that look like they could go out. That's going to be it's going to be an interesting thing to see how many goals we get from those sort of scenarios over the course of the season.
I mean, and for me, the fact is, you see Mo Salah lift his arm up at the back stick, and Phil Coutinho can clearly see that. And Salah backs himself in what is essentially probably 7 or 8 yards. First of all, he backs Coutinho to play the ball in, and then he backs himself. As you say, it's an absolutely brilliant header there. I mean, from that angle, I saw on one of the highlight shows, I think it was on FC.com, the commentator was saying it was poor positioning by Kasper Schmeichel, but I think when you look at where Coutinho was on the edge of the box and where Moreno was playing the ball to, you know, he's got to come across his goal, he's got to be that side of the goal. Definitely. So I don't think there's anything wrong with Schmeichel's thingy. And then Ben Chilwell doesn't fully track Salah's run because he doesn't think Salah can get there, and it's that burst of speed over 5 yards which gets him there. That trust in his speed and his ability to throw the ball into the back of net with his head, absolutely brilliant. Second goal, we spoke about it. I mean, it's just magical. It's an amazing free kick again.
I didn't realise how far out it was. It's so far out. Because after Mahrez has one later on, and I was like, well, if you can score from there, and that's pretty much where Coutinho took it from, and it's just absolutely perfect.
You know what he's going to do, but you still can't do anything about it. You know, Schmeichel's no mugging goal, you know, and he knows it. You know exactly where he's going to put it. You've seen the one against Palace, you've seen the one against Arsenal, you know exactly where it's going, but there's just, when it's that accurate, you know, there's just nothing you can do about it.
There's no stopping it. And we asked in the comment section for you guys to rank our 3 goals from Saturday in order. Salah, Coutinho, Henderson. Praval Kural has just given us 1, and that's Coutinho. Maybe it's just so far ahead. Sam Garrett says Coutinho, Salah, Henderson. Coutinho, Henderson, Salah. Coutinho first, says Chris Brown. Wolf 244, Coutinho, Mo Salah, Henderson. I'm gonna ask you for yours now, but I think Henderson's is the second best goal. I think Salah's is probably the third best. I love the fact that we've won the ball back on the you know, just on the edge of the D in our half, and then we've broke, and the pace that we broke with, and at 2-1 at the time, it was a massively important goal.
We've been threatening that counter-attack for how many games, where we just pile forward, and it's obviously something we work on pretty consistently. Klopp just goes, right, we win the ball back. If you're not with him and you're an attacking player, why not? And I think we scare teams when we do that, and we haven't been clinical enough in them chances. If we put one of them away every game, we're talking about wins instead of draws, and I think it's just about having that little bit of composure at the end, and I think hopefully with Henderson doing that, it tells other players, look, if you don't always pass it, if you want to take that shot, and I think Sturridge coming on helped that as well, because he just likes to have a shot.
I was just going to say, he really made a difference, didn't he? I think Henderson's was the second best, just because of that composure at the end. Obviously, it's a really good counter attack, but the fact that Henderson, he could have taken it with his left if he wanted to shoot, but he checks back across Maguire, and I think it's just a really smart finish, I think.
Okay. Back into the comment section, Wolf Perry said you guys should watch the NFL. All 3 of us do watch the NFL, and all 3 of us do watch Cover 2 TV. It's a YouTube channel that me and Steve Hoare do on the NFL. So go over there and check that one out. Right. Ooh, okay. Well, what I want to talk about, we've not really spoken about it too much, is the defence. You know, we mentioned it briefly at the beginning of the show, Ben. Byron Gronvald says Vikings. I'm a Vikings fan as well. Go Vikings. Thank you to Sai for subscribing to Cover 2 TV. Nice one, Sai. It's that middle section of the show before we start talking about the defence, when we start asking you to do things. Like the video, subscribe to the Redmen TV, subscribe to Cover 2 TV, and if you haven't already, go and check out Mage TV. He does an absolutely unbelievable video on the Klopp out stuff. You need to go and check that out. You really, really do. So, the defence and the referee, because I think they go hand in hand here as well, because Anthony Taylor, I believe his family are from Manchester. I'm just throwing that one out there right now.
Probably.
It definitely seemed like he had a terrible game, didn't he, Tom?
He did. Do you want to
answer the question?
He had a terrible game. He just kept making the wrong decisions consistently, and I think just over, especially the end of that first half, that's never a foul from Joe Matip on Jamie Vardy.
Vardy comes.
It's clever play, don't get me wrong. If Luis Suarez would have done that in a heartbeat, and Albi Moreno does it really well for us now, he just gets a touch and he jumps on the floor. But you've got to, as a referee, you've got to have a bit more nous than that. And with the Lovren one where he gets booked, and he's getting held everywhere. I think, should there be repercussions for that? I don't know. If a ref goes back and watches it after the game and goes, I've made so many errors in this game, I don't know, I think something.
The linesman as well, their first goal, the linesman should be seeing the Okazaki pull for, I don't understand how, there's a lot of players in the box, so you can sort of forgive the referee depending on where he is positionally. you know, but the linesman's got a good clear view along the line of what exactly is going on. And I don't understand how he doesn't flag for a clear pull on Matt Simon.
I'll be honest, right? I thought the Okazaki one wasn't that clear for the linesman. I think it's a clear pull. I agree with that. I just think it was really clever the way that he did it. Like, because he had his body in between him and what I think the linesman's on that side behind, isn't he? So I thought he had his body there and he was pulling him and he lets go of him as well.
Yeah.
And if he'd have carried on that pull, it definitely gets called. Yeah. But I just think it was really smart play from Okazaki. If that was a Liverpool player, I'd be like, very, very smart.
Exactly, yeah.
Very smart play. Like, and, you know, ultimately, it is a foul. Okazaki shouldn't have been pulling Simon Mignolet. Mignolet does pull him back.
Yeah, he does.
Because I get some retribution. But the thing for me is, it's the Vardy one. And let me know what you think in the comment sections to the Vardy one, because he's left his leg there. He's absolutely left his leg there, hasn't he? And it's not the first time. Well, that was probably the first time during the game. The second time, the penalty.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to get your thoughts, and everybody's in the comment section. Do you think that was a penalty that Simon Mignolet gave away? I'll come to the panel first, Ben.
I think it was. You could say, I don't know whether you watched any of the post-match stuff, but like Steven Gerrard was trying to he got a bit of the ball and all that, you know, trying to defend it, but it was he just misses it, doesn't he? Like, it's there to be won, and he just misses it and takes out Vardy, and for me, if it is.
But when
I'm surprised he didn't get full ball on that, to be honest. I know you've got Jamie Vardy coming down, and he was really good at his pressing, to be fair.
That's it, though. He wants to kick Vardy and not the ball.
You know what I mean? Exactly. Have you seen his face? There was two of them on the pitch as well, so you get double your money. But yeah.
Who was that guy who just looked like Jamie Vardy?
I don't know. I think was he a left back? He went the left back.
No, it wasn't.
But it was Jamie Vardy 2.0. But it was a pen. If that happens to any of our players, because if he doesn't kick Vardy, he takes the ball off him and he slots it in that position, I think, and it was just clumsy, but
he makes up for it.
He saves it.
It's great, good save.
Into the comments, and Henry Cogmo Utso, not a pen according to Clatterberg in Norwegian TV. Sam Shepherd says, yeah, pen. O'Shane Lloyd O'Connor, you. I think hopefully that means yes. Sam Shepherd has missed the ball. Ahmad's Wales has cleared contact, I think, with the ball. That means Sarah Smith says yes. Mignolet could have got a red card as well. Chris Brown, yes. If he cleans it into the stands, it's just a Leicester throw. For me, he does get the ball.
Yeah.
But he absolutely takes the man out, and I do think it was Simon Mignolet clears the ball first and foremost, doesn't he? I think in the run up to that goal, Emre Can brings it down, loses the ball, whatever. For me, he seems to take a step the wrong way, just in the lead up to it, and he's coming at it from a funny angle for me, and I don't know whether he was just trying to get it out for a throw-in, like the shortest distance possible. Yeah. But I think it really could have been avoided if he'd have just ran straight to the ball. Maybe he just misjudged the flight. If that happens, you know what? Yeah. It's an accident. He misjudged the flight of the ball. We've seen him do it enough times over the years to know that that's what he can do. But ultimately, he goes right through Jamie Vardy. Yeah. It's a penalty. It doesn't matter at the end of the day because he makes a great save.
Well, is that the goalkeeper coach and Mignolet, do you reckon? Because they're obviously looking, they're going, who is Leicester's big penalty taker? It's Jamie Vardy. Where does he take them? They obviously look at that before the game.
They must do, because it's beyond a coincidence now, isn't it? The amount that he saves.
Yeah.
You know,
7 out of 15.
Must do. That is mental, isn't it? Really. You know, the amount of homework they must be doing.
Yeah.
And again on BT Sport afterwards, they were showing like Vardy's like last 4 penalties, and they are all in that spot. Yeah. And you think, well, you know, fair play to them, because the amount he does save. Yeah. You know, he saved one against Hoffenheim, saved one against, come to mind, Chelsea. It's just mental, the amount of homework he must do.
And we were saying top class goalkeepers get I think it was Paired on Social Club was saying 12 points usually around the season. He's just got us 3 there really. I know he makes the mistake, which kind of, but he saves us, and he's done it throughout his Liverpool career. Whether he still makes mistakes and stuff, but he's. To get that stronger hand on it as well, I don't know if you agree, just to even get it out the way, because Vardy blasts that. Yeah. Absolutely blasts that.
He could have hit it with anything, and Vardy hits it so hard it's flying off him, because whatever you think, whether you think he's done his homework or whatever, that would have knocked me backwards into the goal. Yeah. There was that much power on the ball, because Vardy leaves the floor as he's kicking the ball and stuff, like, and I know from 5-a-side when Jamie takes a shot at me, I go backwards. You know, and Vardy from 12 yards, he's done it consistently. His 4 out of 5 pens were straight down the middle. two either side and one over the bar, I think were his last 5 and stuff. We saw it on NBC, didn't we? But absolutely brilliant save by Sam Minier. And listen, just before we wrap up, I did just kind of want to say, like, you know, I got a little bit of abuse on me match reaction for being over the top happy, right? If you can't celebrate a win, why are you watching football? I just don't understand it. Like, listen, you can feel bad after a loss, so why can't you feel good after a win? Why do people want to say, oh, it's only Leicester? Well, I'll tell you what, when Leicester beat us on Tuesday night in the Cup, I was hurting. I was really hurting. So when we beat them in the league in the next game, I'm going to fucking enjoy it, by the way, because I enjoy every Liverpool victory, whether it's against fucking Leicester, whether it's against AC Milan, it doesn't matter to me. Liverpool winning is what I'm in football for, you know, and the trophies hopefully come because you accumulate the wins and that's how you win trophies. You've got to celebrate the ups and you've got to whinge about the downs, and that for me is how to be a football fan.
And we needed it. We really needed that win, and the team stepped up. Show it Klopp's celebration. 5 fist bumps, and that sums up the whole of the feeling of every fan. I know we concede straight after, but it doesn't matter. We're all sat there. The relief just washes over you for like, what was it, 80 seconds and then you're back in the doldrums,
especially after the results that day, exactly. Chelsea had won, United had won, City had won. It was so crucial.
And now we've got a massive Champions League game on Tuesday. We've got Rafa Benitez in Newcastle. Want to be celebrating 2 more wins this week. It's a big week for Liverpool. We'll be back with another one of these review shows on Wednesday morning, hopefully after we snot Spartak Moscow by 6-0 in their stadium, which I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce because I have looked at it. We've just got a few more comments. Hashtag Pajak Preach, we don't want plastics. Pajak, Team Pajak. Chris is a legend, keep the good stuff going, mate. I love you, Chris Pajak. He's a fucking great. Show some love to these guys as well. This is Tom Dutton, who has been the man behind Redmen TV for so long now. It wouldn't be the channel that it is without him, and obviously Ben Kelly as well, who's a new addition to Team Redmen, but a very welcome one at that. And Sai, who's, I was going to say on the keys behind, but I think that's more of a musical thing, but he's been in the comments and making sure that the live stream's cool. So thanks very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the Redmen TV, and we'll see you later on. I'll be doing another live show to start 11 live for tomorrow night. The Uncensored Match build-up show will be out, and if you want the proper final word with the man Paul Machin, then do check out the website. It's £5 a month, theredmentv.com. Loads of exclusive shows, loads of exclusive podcasts, written articles. It's your one-stop shop for Liverpool Football Club. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.